Alright, what I've done so far at this point is I have created a test print. In the test print I came out, I'm comparing it with the master test sheet. And I'm very much oversaturated. And by looking at the examples also, not only am I oversaturated, and I'll show it, it looks like I definitely have contrast and brightness to adjust. And after those three, I'll check Hue at the same time. So I'm hitting Q, I'm quitting out. Going into HCS. At this point, when I'm in HCS, I am verifying while I'm in here that all my lights are on and working, and they are. Alright. So at this point, I'm going to hit the S key for saturation, and I'm going to start bringing the saturation level down. And at this point, it's at 63, and I'm going to bring it down. Alright, so I brought it down to about, at this point, I'm going to bring it down to 35. And again, I'm going to play with the brightness and the contrast and see where that takes me. So I'm going to hit L right now and play with the brightness. Alright, so I brought the brightness down from its value of 48, I believe it was, down to 34. At this point, I'm going to hit the T for contrast and see where that takes me. I'm bringing the contrast down. Notice what's happening at this point. The image got very, very soft. Alright? So, one thing about contrast is it can create hot spots, which would be right there on my forehead. If I overdrive my contrast, I'm going to get a white. I'm going to get a hot spot. We don't want that. So we're going to bring that back down. Alright, so that's looking pretty good right there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit some more on the L for brightness. Bring it up a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. I'm going to just verify my hue by hitting H. And I'm going to roll through the hue a little bit. Notice my color. Alright, the hue was at 1. And I'm going to leave it there. When I went up to 2 and down to 0, it did make a difference. I'm going to go back into saturation by pressing S. And you notice, as I bring it down even more, my color goes out. So I'm going to bring my saturation back to about 35. That looks pretty good. Maybe 34. 34. Alright, so at this point, my hue is 0, my contrast is 41, my saturation is 34, my brightness level is 37, and my focus that I never touch is at 3. Alright, so I'm going to take a test print at this point, and we're going to compare it again with the chart and see how we look. I'm going to hit 3 to save my settings, and when I save my settings, it's going to dump me back to my menu screen, and then I'll get into Bend. Alright, so we took another test printout and we verified the printout, and it is still a little dark. So I hit L and I'm going to brighten it up a little more. I'm also going to bring my contrast. I'm going to play with my contrast. I should say play, but I'm going to brighten my contrast up a little more too. Give myself a little bit more contrast, a little bit more brightness. Got to be really careful about the hot spots on your forehead. Again, what I'm doing at this point is I'm just alternating between contrast and brightness. And just seeing the best picture you can get. Don't be afraid to, make an error or go to one certain point. Notice what happened too as I was playing with my contrast and my brightness. Since I did brighten the subject, my saturation level dropped. So I just hit S and I brought my saturation level up a little more. Okay, so I like this. So now my hue, I put my hue back to 1, my contrast is 43, my saturation is 37, and my brightness is 44. At this point again, I'll take another test print to see what it looks like and verify all the time what you're doing. So I hit 3 and saved it. And I'm going back into Bend.